Hello friends, if I just take a walk down the lane from here, I might end up in a restaurant with idli vada and a bit of sambar for breakfast. But for the moment, let us also discuss a little bit about rasam. I guess you would have understood what I'm going to talk about today, and that is about Chennai Super Kings, especially in the backdrop of their loss to Lucknow Super Giants. So, what does it mean for Chennai Super Kings going forward in this season's IPL, especially in the backdrop of the race for the playoffs? So, first of all, we have to talk about that loss to Lucknow Super Giants. It was a kind of a thrashing for Chennai Super Kings. So, what exactly went wrong? Obviously, it was a pacey pitch in Lucknow. Lucknow Super Giants also had a pretty good pace attack, and Chennai Super Kings also lost the toss, so they had to bat first on a track where the ball was nipping around a little more. But Chennai Super Kings did get a few things wrong, especially with the ball in hand. See, obviously they missed out the services of Jamie Orton, and that definitely was a big blow. He's tall, fast bowler, hits the deck hard, very hard, and bowls at good pace too at over 145 kilometers per hour. And is someone who consistently pounds the deck hard. Yes, his control also has improved. Maybe you have to give some credit to Eric Siemens under his coaching. I think his control is really looks better because see, I have followed his career for about 13 years, be it at Somerset, be it at Surrey, be it with England setup. And what I've seen is it tends to drift it down the leg side. Maybe it's a problem with his front arm. Whatever it is, there has been a problem with his control. But in this IPL, Jamie Orton has bowled with really good control. So they missed out on his services. Yes, he's returned back to England due to his thigh injury. And in his absence, Chennai Super Kings really struggled on that pitch with pace and bounce. Yes, there was a little less snip. So first of all, let us look at someone like Anshul Kamboj. Yes, he's stubborn, he's a useful line bowler, but in those conditions yesterday, he was just putting the ball out there or getting the ball to kiss the surface. And when you're doing that against someone like Mitchell Marsh, who has been brought up on those tracks at Tawaka in Perth, you are definitely in some kind of trouble. As expected, he exploded. Explosion. There was an explosion of fireworks with all those pull strokes. Someone is 6 feet 6 inches, 6 feet 6 inches tall. So if you're going to bowl back of a length at him, then you have to get it high up, maybe high up on the bat. But he was not able to do that, and as expected, Mitchell Marsh basically took the game away from Chennai Super Kings' grasp. It was not just Kamboj, someone like Gurjapneet Singh, 6 feet 6 inches, 6 feet 5 inches. He too was getting the ball to kiss the surface. And there was one particular over when he basically bowled too full. There was even a low full toss. He tried a slower ball, which and the length was on the fuller side. So he didn't get it right either, despite being 6 feet 5 inches. So it was left to someone like Spencer Johnson, who bowled reasonably well, although he was not as good as a couple of Lucknow Super Giants pacers, but he was still reasonably good. He could have done better with his high release point, and even someone like Mukesh Chowdhury, despite being someone renowned for his skills to move the ball, he also tried to pull the length back and did reasonably well. But otherwise, Chennai Super Kings' pacers struggled. Yes, I understand the ball nipped around a little less, but that was a poor performance from Chennai Super Kings' bowlers in the second innings. So that was in brief about their loss to Lucknow Super Giants. But let us look at what does it mean for them going forward. The one of the matches to look forward is that game against Gujarat Titans. You know, Gujarat Titans, when they play at the Narendra Modi Stadium, they obviously prepare pitches with a little more bounce and also leave enough grass. And they have enough tall fast bowlers. They would always have a battery of tall fast bowlers. This time around, they would likely have Rabada, they would likely have Holder, Prasidh Krishna, and obviously Mohammad Siraj. So three of their pacers there are well over 6 feet, and Siraj obviously gets enough movement with a new ball, uses that three-quarter seam or employs that three-quarter seam extensively. So when you have someone like Prasidh coming in as your four-seamer on a track with bounce and grass, then you would be in some kind of trouble. and also their batting lineup seems to understand what to do in such conditions. They play kind of percentage cricket. Even if they're batting first, they look for a total of around 170, and then they back their seam attack. So Gujarat Titans have the required template in those conditions to beat Chennai Super Kings. So it's going to be a really tough task for Chennai Super Kings going forward. Yes, they might go on to beat Sunrisers Hyderabad in the conditions, in the prevailing conditions, but the last game is going to be the really very much a tough task for Chennai Super Kings, especially in the backdrop of not having Jamie Orton, who obviously his bowling would have been tailor-made for those conditions. But another point to look at with Chennai Super Kings is the net run rate. The net run rate, if you compare it to the other five teams who are ahead of them, including Rajasthan Royals, who I believe have a net run rate of 0.082, Chennai Super Kings net run rate is a little worse. Obviously, Royal Challengers Bangalore have a very good net run rate. Someone like Gujarat Titans have a reasonably good net run rate. Even if you consider Punjab Kings are going on a downward path or downward slide in the recent past, their net run rate also is better. So all these teams have very much a better net run rate, including Sunrisers Hyderabad, and that is another point to look at. So if Chennai Super Kings, for instance, are going to win 7 matches and somehow sneak through, let us look at it in an imaginary sense, the net run rate would be in some kind of trouble. And obviously, two teams are already on 8 wins. And if these two teams, or at least one of the two teams, go to 9 wins, and a couple of teams are around 8 wins, and if it comes to such kind of a scenario where only one of the two teams with 8 wins would go into playoffs, then again Chennai Super Kings' net run rate would definitely, I think, act as a hurdle. So I think that is the problem for them after this loss. And yes, despite all that, I have to say it has been a successful comeback for Chennai Super Kings, despite all those injuries to Ram Krishna, someone like Devil Brevis also having an injury. Actually, he has not been in good form either. I think he has only scored about 81 runs in this particular season. There were other injuries too. Obviously, Jamie Orton is now gone back to England. I don't have to say much about MS Dhoni, who has been continuing his rehabilitation program. And then there was Khalil Ahmad as well, one of their better seamers. Chennai Super Kings is prominent seamers. He also got injured. So the injury list is very long. If I try to list it out, then it could take a few minutes for me. So despite all that, they have done very well to win 4 games out of 5, and obviously after that, they ended up on the losing side. In that sense, we have to give credit to them. I think again, I have to give plenty of credit to someone like Jamie Orton. He's been consistently hitting the deck hard. He's been someone, even when the opposition is on top, he's come hard at them. I think that is one of his key strengths, something that I noted even during that Oval Test when he had a poor showing in the first innings, but in the second innings, despite 3 catches being dropped, despite England being one man down, late on day 3, a tired fast bowler in Jamie Orton came hard at India and bowled at around 90 miles per hour, consistently pounding the deck hard, and also dismissed Dhruv Jurel. And yes, you have to look at others as well. Sanju Samson has been in very good form and has been doing very well for Chennai Super Kings. Although yesterday, when the ball was doing a bit, when there was space and bouncy and Gaikwad couldn't succeed, they really needed the two top order players to do well in those conditions. And yes, Brevis has been kind of struggling with for form. I've already talked about it. But having said that, they have the spinners. Noor Ahmed, someone like Aki Al Hussain, when needed here or there, has done well. So credit has to go to their spinners as well. And someone like even Mukesh, when needed here or there, he has succeeded. And I also have to talk about Kamboj, despite his struggles yesterday. See, Anshul Kamboj, the stubborn, has been very good in the slog overs from round the wicket. He's used that angle very well. Just that yesterday, he was just getting the ball to kiss the surface, and that was never going to work in those conditions. So that is in brief about their bowling attack. And in brief, I also have to discuss about Karthik Sharma and Urvil. See, Karthik Sharma, I think he has a mature head on his shoulders. Perhaps he has to work on his game a little bit, especially against hard length. But he seems to understand when to go after the bowlers, against whom to go after, because he was yesterday too targeting Shabaz Ahmad. He's a very good player of spin. I've seen that in Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy when he was playing against Karnataka. And someone like Urvil Patil, I talked about him a lot in the past too. Is someone who's a very can be a dangerous batter, not just a slogger. He has a few shots to the offside. So these two players are definitely for the future. So that is in brief about Chennai Super Kings. Well, yes, they have made a successful comeback, but it may not be enough, especially considering the kind of net run rate they have, and they have to play Gujarat Titans in what seems like would be unfamiliar territory for them. So thank you for taking your time out. Hopefully you liked this video. Yes, I will go down the lane and have a little bit of idli vada and sambar. So thank you again for taking your time out.